Megan Olivi.
Thank you so much, Gus. Well, Patrick Peterson has been anticipating this return to Arizona.
Megan Olivi, who has more on tonight's championship main event. Megan.
Hey, thank you so much, John. Well, by now you've heard about the years that champion Kamaru Usman and challenger Gilbert Burns spent training together.
Megan Olivi.
Trying to stay warm and dry, Gus. Thank you so much. Like you guys just touched upon, the Lions have certainly shown fight and their ability to compete when maybe it wasn't necessary.
This is Sydney Babik for the Pirate Sports Network. I'm currently sitting in the Seton Hall Athletics Hall of Fame alongside Megan Olivi, who is a UFC, NFL, and ESPN broadcaster. And she also happens to be a Seton Hall alum. So Megan, how does it feel being back on campus?
I love it so much, honestly. Like, I drove through the main gate and I was like, oh, I had the best time here. I love Seton Hall. It feels like home. I've been away from this campus for a really long time, and I still feel like I'm very welcomed here. Like, the buildings and the trees and everything were like, hey, welcome back. So yeah, it feels like being home.
When was the last time that you were here?
You know, honestly, the last time I was really here was probably like right around when I graduated in 2009. I came back, I wanted to show my husband where I went to college, but it was raining, and I don't think we even got out of the car. That was probably like 2012 or something, but actually to walk around, yeah, it's been probably since I graduated 2009.
So what made you come back today to Seton Hall?
I've always wanted to give back to the communities that I felt like gave me so much, and this community certainly did. I loved everything about my experience here for 4 years, and I just wanted to make sure that students who are now going through the same journeys or have similar goals had a resource that's currently, you know, working in the field that they might want to work in. And so I just wanted to try and give back however I could. For me, I also would like to teach on a collegiate level at some point. And so being able to just start that journey for myself and those who might benefit from me being here just felt like a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm. And you were speaking about helping out those students, and earlier today you spoke to a group of students, including myself. Did that bring back memories and put you back in the times that you were here as a student?
I mean, it made me think about what the heck did I do to get here? You know, it was kind of crazy. When I was a senior, I would take the 4:12 a.m. train from South Orange train station to New York City, and then I would work until about 1 or 2, then I'd come home and do evening classes. And it made me think about like the hustle that college kids really have who are motivated. And, you know, sometimes we kind of are like, oh, they're young, whatever. And no, that's not what it is, because it certainly wasn't what it was for me, and it's not what it is for you guys. You guys are working hard, you have goals, you are an athlete, a student, you have time to do all of this. It's really incredible to see. And like, I think it just made me think about my own journey and the journeys of those who are sitting in front of me, and just how motivated and hard they must be working to already understand what it is they want to do and have an interest that's piqued so much they're coming to a talk that I'm giving.
Could you have ever imagined that you would be as successful in the sports media industry when you were a student as you are now?
Oh man, well, thank you for saying that. No, like I honestly didn't know I even wanted to do this until I was further along in my college career. And it's because of my internships at Seton Hall, you know, helped me to get in the city that sort of shaped who I am today and where I wanted to go with my life. So even if you would have told me, hey, you're going to be doing the NFL sidelines and you're going to be working, you know, as the lead female broadcaster for the UFC, I'd be like, what? And here I am. So I think it's just also never like thinking too high or too low of yourself, just staying in the present moment and doing what you can to sort of influence your life in the right direction while you are in that exact moment.
Mm-hmm. And what was one of your biggest inspirations or sparks to get into UFC and NFL broadcasting? Because I know you said you were a political science major here, so what was that initial spark for you?
You know what, it's funny, it was at an internship, and I would always come in every day and talk to the guys on set. It was at a news network, and I would always talk to the guys on set about the Yankees game the night before or the Giants game the night before, or trades or whatever was happening in sports. And they were like, you are always talking about this. Why don't you do that for a living? And at first I didn't really take them seriously, but then they would keep saying it to me, and I was very encouraged. It was from a place of love and positivity and stuff, and it made me think, okay, maybe I can do that. And that was what sort of inspired me to make the leap. And, you know, I think it's easier to make those big choices and changes when you're young, because you will always land on your feet, because you're out of college and you're figuring out what it is you want to do. Not everything is going to be a right fit. You're not going to like everything, but once you find what it is, to leap into it with both feet, like, is such a beautiful risk to take, and it's one that you can definitely take when you're young.
How do you feel that Seton Hall helped prepare you for the field that you're in now?
Felt like it made me a real individual. It helped me figure out who I was and my own thoughts, not influenced by, you know, parents or other people, friends, whoever it is. I figured out who I was here, and I was also given the freedom to take classes that piqued my interest and take classes that made me a better writer, and maybe necessarily classes that were hard, you know, different things, but they were important to who I am now and the skill set that I use in my everyday life. But I think the most important thing was I could be myself and I could figure out who I was while I was on this campus. I had New York City just a couple of miles away, so I could go there for both fun and work and really figure out my own world and what it was I wanted for my present and my future.
Do you have any words of advice for students like myself who strive to be someone like you that go to Seton Hall?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few things that I would say. Number one is, like I said in the classroom, is do the work. Don't ever be outworked. There's a lot of things that are not in your control, but your preparation and how you really make sure you are well informed, that's in your control. So never let that fall to the wayside. Make all the right choices. Don't take shortcuts. Do the work. Don't take shortcuts. You will get very far and in the right way. You're going to learn all the skills throughout those steps that you need, because that first step is just as vital to the 12th step. You know what I mean? So they're really important there. And then don't be afraid to fail. Like, it's okay. There's gonna be stuff you like and don't like. There's gonna be things that come up that maybe you don't succeed at, but like, take the risk. That now is the time to take it. Figure out what it is you really want to do, and even if you fail, but that's what you want to do, go back to it, try again. There is nothing to be embarrassed of. There is no real failure. The real failure is if you don't try again. So don't be afraid to hear a no or have something not go as perfectly as you had envisioned in your mind. It's totally fine. You guys will be great because you're just continuing to put in the work and you're doing everything the right way.
And I'm sure that I myself, as long as students that are watching this piece, will keep that in mind. And I just want to thank you one last time for coming back to campus and taking the time to speak with me.
Oh my God, thank you. Also, bravo to you.
Thank you.
So if you guys know, like, seriously, this is amazing. This is what we should all strive to be. I want to be like you.
Thank you. Well, one last time, thank you. And thank you guys for watching. This is Sydney Babik signing out, Pirate Sports Network.